Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh and in today's video we will be discussing about the India-Canada relations which are in turmoil and has hit a new low this time. So what has happened? What are the reasons that why is it considered that India and Canada are not on good terms with each other? So let us first understand the timeline. First we'll be looking at the news, then what is its background, what the things are going on. India-Canada relations with perspective to political, economic, science and technology space, and in the end a prelims MCQ. Topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, that is international relations. And Canada has been a good ally of India over so many years, so this becomes important. Now the news says the Khalistan shadow on India-Canada ties over the years. Khalistan shadow. So, Khalistan shadow has always been a problem or a issue of problem in India and especially in the region of Punjab, that few of the people in Punjab region or the state of Punjab, they always demand a separate state for the Sikhs and that state would be Khalistan. So, the demand for Khalistan, and now the issue is that not only in India, the demand for Khalistan are raising in other countries also, like for example the Britain, that is the UK, and now in Canada also. So recently what has happened is that the relations between India and Canada has been strained due to the Canada's alleged leniency towards supporters of Khalistan, and now it has hit a new low on September 19 when the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has claimed that there was evidence to suggest India's involvement in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. So this is what the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has claimed, that there are evidence that India was involved in the killing of the Hardeep Singh Nijjar, and Hardeep Singh Nijjar has been designated as a terrorist in India. So from India's perspective, if we see Hardeep Singh Nijjar as an individual, then he has been termed as a terrorist, and in Canada he has been killed, and the Canadian PM has claimed that there are chances and there are evidence to suggest that India was involved in his killing. And this statement by the Prime Minister of Canada has made this point that India and Canada relations are strained at this point of time, that the Prime Minister of one country is claiming that there are evidence of the other country's involvement in the killing of people on their soil. Now let's talk about the background of India and Canada, and this on September 19 what has happened, that this is not the first time that India and Canada relations have been termed out to be as strained, or India or Canada have been on a turmoil with each other. In the past also this has happened. So India Canada have been at odds over the issues of Khalistani extremism. So what happens is, if we see Canada as a nation, then Canada has a large population of Sikh population is very high in Canada. So there have been slogans of Khalistan, and Khalistan supporters are in a good quantity when it comes to about the frequency of slogans that have been raised in Canada with regard to Khalistan and the pro-Khalistani slogans. Then Canada has a very large population of Sikhs, and that is the reason that why the pro-Khalistani slogans have been raised so many times in Canada. And India and Canada have always been at loggerheads with each other when we talk about the portion or the proportion of the Khalistan extremism. If we talk about the year 1998, then Ottawa, capital of Canada, Ottawa recalled its High Commissioner to India following nuclear tests. So during the time that India successfully conducted their nuclear test in 1998, so that was the time when Canada was not in favor of India and it recalled its commissioner. Then during the time of 1948, Canada supported a plebiscite in Kashmir. So this point of time also India and Canada were not at good terms with each other, and during the time of Kashmir becoming a part of India, when the point of plebiscite was raised, then Canada supported the point of plebiscite. Then Canada has been the highest population of Sikh outside their home state of Punjab. If we talk about the Sikh population all over, then highest population of Sikh resides in Punjab, the state of Punjab in India. And apart from India, if we see the other country which has a large Sikh population, then it is Canada. And Khalistan separatist movement in the 1980s and early 1990s. So Khalistan movement has always been in news in India, and one of the reasons being the Operation Blue Star also, and our former Prime Minister of India Indira Gandhi was also killed by 2 of her bodyguards who were Sikh. In India, Sikhs have had a very turbulent history. So this is about few of the incidences where India and Canada have not been in good terms with each other, or they have not supported each other. Now let's talk about things which are important from exam perspective, and we will not be going into the political scenario because that is not going to be asked. What is important is what kind of relations does India and Canada share with each other. So India-Canada relations. First we will talk about political relations. So before that, Canada is a country which resides in which continent? So that is the North American continent. And when we talk about in terms of area, the Canada is the second largest country in terms of area, first being Russia and second is the Canada. And Canada has the second highest number of Sikh population after Punjab. So Canada is of utmost importance to us because a large Indian diaspora resides in Canada, and majority of them being the Sikh. So now let's talk about the India-Canada relations. First of all, about the political relations. So India and Canada share a commonality in political relations, and especially in the parliamentary structures and procedures. So when Indian Constitution was being formed, we have taken up many procedures from Canada which we thought would be very beneficial for us, or which we thought would be suitable for India. Like for example, the perspective of strong center at the time of emergencies that we have taken from Canada. Then the provision of residuary powers we have taken from Canada, and the appointment of state governors by the center. So these are few of the procedures that India has taken from Canada, that is strong center, residuary power, appointment of state governors by center. Then India is represented in Canada by a High Commission in Ottawa and by consulates in Toronto and Vancouver. So we have a High Commission in the capital of Canada, that is Ottawa, and then we have consulates in Toronto and Vancouver. And Toronto and Vancouver has a large Sikh population there also. So this was about political. Now let's talk about the economic relations or the economic ties between India and Canada. And we have a huge economic ties with Canada, and the bilateral relations are also good with between India and Canada. So if we talk about the economic ties, then the talks for the free trade agreement between India and Canada was going on, but seeing the present situation which has arisen, the free trade agreement between India and Canada has been put on a halt now, as of now. If we talk about the trade, then the two-way trade in goods in the year 2022 was around 10.5 billion, which include India's exports of 6.4 billion. So between India's exports and Canada's imports, we are exporting more to Canada. And then if we talk about services in the year 2021, it was 5.88 billion. Now Canadian Pension Fund. So there is a fund which is pension fund in Canada. So the Canadian Pension Fund has invested more than 55 billion in India. So the pension fund of Canada is investing a lot in India. And if we talk about the companies, then more than 400 Canadian companies have presence in India, and these companies give employment to Indians also, and this help in the employment generation, and this also helps in the good GDP generation also of India. Then India's exports to Canada include pharmaceuticals, iron and steel, chemicals, gem and jewelry, nuclear reactors and boilers. So these are the things which India export to Canada. And Canada being such a large area in size, Canada is considered to be a good reservoir for oil and petrol, natural gas, uranium, and the natural resources of Canada is also very high. So these are few of the economic ties between India and Canada. Now let's talk about science and technology, and the primary focus of India and Canada when with regard to the science and technology has been on promoting industrial research and development of new intellectual property processes, prototypes and products. So the main focus is on research and development, and then the development of intellectual property. So both the nations are collaborating with each other with regard to it. And the Department of Biotechnology under ICIM Pacts. Now what is ICIM Pacts? So ICIM Pacts stands for the India-Canada Center for Innovative Multidisciplinary Partnerships to Accelerate Community Transformation and Sustainability. So it is India-Canada Center for Innovative Partnership, and this is the first and the only innovative partnership between India and Canada. So the IC Impact, so the Department of Biotechnology under IC Impact program, it implement joint research project in healthcare, agri-biotech and waste management. So the one and the only project which talks about the innovative partnership between India and Canada, it works for the joint research projects in different disciplines, and those disciplines can be regarded as healthcare, agri-biotech and waste management. So this was about science and technology. Now let's talk about the space sector. So now that the Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, is coming up on the global scale with each passing mission, and recently we have successfully launched the Chandrayaan-3 mission, and it has been a huge success all over, and we have become the first country in the world to touch down on the south pole of the moon. And if we talk about space, then ISRO and Canadian Space Agency, which is regarded as CSA, then these both ISRO and CSA have signed various memorandum of understanding in the field of exploration and utilization of outer space, because no single country can do research on the with regard to space single-handedly. It needs to be done with collaboration with each other and with the help of each other, so that if one country is able to do that, then the country and other countries can also succeed with regard to it. Now Antrix, which is considered to be the commercial arm of ISRO, has launched several nano satellites from Canada. Now every country has a space station from where they send their rockets. So Antrix, which is the commercial arm of ISRO, it has launched several nano satellites from Canada, not from India. They have launched it from Canada. Then ISRO, in its 100th satellite PSLV, launched in the year 2018, it also flew Canada's first LEO, which is the low Earth orbit satellite, from Indian spaceport Sriharikota. So this means that ISRO, in its 100th satellite, which was launched in the year 2018, it was the 100th satellite of ISRO. When it was going up, it had Canada's first low Earth orbit with it. So this is also because of the good collaboration of India and Canada with each other, that during its 100th satellite, it carried Canada's first low Earth orbit with itself. Now this was about space. So we have learnt about polity, then we have learnt about economics, that is trade and bilateral trade between two nations. Then we have learnt about space, we have learnt about science and technology. So these are few of the important respects that we have talked about, and recent one and most important one being the Khalistan. And Canadian PM, that is Justin Trudeau, also attended the G20 meeting which was hosted by India, and it was attended, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also welcomed all the delegates to New Delhi. So Justin Trudeau also attended the G20 meeting. And Khalistan issue, as I've told you, that because of the huge Indian diaspora. Now with this regard, we have also covered the topic of diaspora, because apart from India, the highest number of Sikh population, that is the second highest Sikh population, resides in Canada, and Canada forms a huge Indian diaspora with regard to it, and they also send a huge amount of remittance back to India. And that is the reason why, because of the huge population of Sikhs in Canada, the Khalistan extremists and the topic of Khalistan keeps on raising in Canada. Now, so this was about India and Canada relations. Now in the end, a prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. Which among the following features have been adopted from the Canadian Constitution? Appointment of state governors. First, strong center. Second, residuary powers. Third, you have to talk about the correct statement, and the codes are 3 only, 1 and 2 only, all 3, none of the above. So we have done this in the video. You should be able to give the right answer. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.